was like I grew up overnight. I left at 140 pounds. I come back 180. I lift, I work out, I fight. And I'm not talking about fist fight. We outside the wire running the missions, doing what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go through my Instagram, you'll see the picture. My pictures ain't pictures standing by a cul-de-sac or standing by a bathroom. Like, no, this is we out there. We in the field doing what we have to do, applying pressure. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn the hard way. And then I became a leader in the military. So now I got troops that depend on me. So Jayr Mcintrye, what do you do now? You're gonna let your emotions dictate for you to make this one reaction? And if I make the slightest reaction, I lose one troop. You think I want to go back home and tell his mom he died because of me? You know how many letters I had to write? Not because of me, but I was there senior enlisted. That hurts. So it's like you gotta grow up. You gotta grow up. And then I was a senior leader at a young age. I remember I retired at 34, 35 years old. I'm 43. So I did 14 years in the military. I loved what I did. I wish I never, but I was already injured. I've been through too many battles. I did 55 months in combat. You know what I'm saying? So my mental, everything is messed up. And then you send us back home to love on our families. We got to, like, every time my kids, I had to introduce myself to my daughter every time I came back. And then I had my son. And then one deployment, I was gone for 15 months. When I got back, that joker didn't know me. He didn't know me. You know what I'm saying? His mama Mexican. He didn't know me. He was like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? So I had to introduce me to him, and our relationship was different. So I had to understand all that while being young and dealing with that and not being married, but trying to come home and recover who JR is. But every time I think I'm recovered, guess what? They send us right back out there.
Yeah, it's tough, JR. It's extremely tough. You know, I tell a lot of people, it's your mental fortitude that helps you get through. The physical you can endure. As long as you don't quit, you can endure. It's the mental fortitude that separates, you know, the ones that break from the ones that don't break. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I remember when we was in training, one thing that they did just to see right before, you know, we finished and we end up, you know, going overseas was we was in this big auditorium, you know, because you take your classes as well as you do your training, right? You have to learn your classes and learn about the military and learn, you know, things of that nature. So we all sitting down, maybe, you know, 500 of us in the auditorium, and, you know, everybody's sitting there, parade, you know, sitting down, you know, you don't move, you don't talk, you don't do nothing. And the drill instructors just start running in like in a panic, right? So everybody looking at each other like, what's going on, right? This is right around the time, you know, Iraq and everything's about to jump off.
Yeah.
So they start talking to each other. Then the guy gets on the mic, one of the drill instructors, and go, listen, we're going to fast track your training. I know y'all got 2 weeks left. We're going to finish off in a week. Y'all going to graduate, and then y'all going overseas, right? This is what we want y'all to do right now, right? Anybody that needs to talk to a corpsman or anybody that, you know what I'm saying, go to the left side. Everybody else go to the right. And they mentally seen who was going to separate themselves right off the back. And that was a ploy just to see like who was weak and who, like, motherfuckers start crying, and you seen people break right there in that moment, right? And it was just a mental test to see what you, because again, like Cuzzo, like I tell everybody, right? If you listen, understanding two things. Yes, the military has jobs where you are not on the front line. There are military doctors, doctors, lawyers, police officers, etc., right? Where you never go to the front line. But there are certain jobs, and JR, I don't know what your job was, but my job was a combat engineer. I'm attached to the grunts all the time and stuff. We going in first. But when you hear about it on the news, I was there 3 weeks already. You understand? We going in first.
That's us,
right, you understand? So you knew what you were signing up for when you signed up for it, right? And it's always a possibility that a conflict will break out because the United States is a war-based economy. Every 10 years, there's a conflict. It's a war-based economy. So you should already know that this is a possibility that you might have to see a conflict or go to a place that is, you know, considered extreme dangerous, right? But it just went to show you like who broke immediately, right? And like JR said, cuz I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people that started in boot. Like he said, when we first started out, before you get to your company, those first 2-3 days when everybody's in the hut and they just cut your hair and it's a free for all. And a lot of people didn't make it. I'm telling you, a lot of